everybody? Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day, a great Monday, good start to the stock week, and let's see what's happening and what we're getting into this week. So all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence, and let's see what the heat map looked like. Apple was looking really good. I think I was just a tad bit too early on Apple. Remember I said last week it was starting to set up and look good, and then it had that little dip, and now it's rolling right back up there. It looks like it wants to get back up to that 20. Looks pretty good in the overnight, so watch for that to roll right there. Not looking too bad. How about some of these poppers? Remember we were talking about this BNAI right there. That did run pretty big. Holy cow, I didn't even realize it ended up there, closed that high up. Whoa, 62.08. So there you go. That was a good. That one's crazy. Oh, and then it went down in the after hours. All right, I was looking at it reversed actually. So hello, Janica, how are you? And yeah, so this one was ripping today. We were talking about it last night as well. And that Battalion Oil one was going crazy. MBAI right there, running up there. SLGB, that had a little spike up. XTKG, that was running. We were looking at this not very long ago. I remember we were looking at this bad boy because I remember the Singapore one. And there you go. So that got set up and finally spiked up there. That was a good one. Look, it ran up even more in the after hours there. Big spiker. We'll keep an eye on that tomorrow morning. Laptop travel and GAUZ right there. Electronic one in Israel, and BNAI, like we were talking about. That was a big one right there. So there you go. And let's see what our news talks about. Border Patrol Chief Bavano, I think that's what it is. Bavino. It's almost like Cavino, but with a B. His name's Bavino. Holy cow. Who knew? Chief Bavino. But it sounds like I'm like making Cavino's name a fake name right there. Chief Bavino, public face of immigration crackdown to leave Minnesota. And Asian stocks dip on Korean tariffs. The yen holds gains, and shares in the South Korean automakers slide after Trump posts on raising tariffs in U.S. stock futures, mixed with Fed meeting. Big tech earnings on deck, and S&P 500 futures are a little changed after index rises ahead of this week's big tech earnings. So we have our big tech earnings coming up this week. And then we also have our Fed decision. That's 2 o'clock on Wednesday, I believe it is. Yeah, Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Earnings, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta are this week. So that's interesting right there. So that'll be pretty good for catalysts and start to move. And like I said, Apple was starting to look really good right there. So let's go ahead, check out what's going on with our list. You guys tell me what you guys want to look at as we go. And we'll check out that too. So here we go. And I went out to go snowblow to go do the driveways today, and I guess I busted the snowblower. I ran that thing like an animal yesterday, and literally I think I busted the belts on it, to be honest. I'm pretty sure the auger part, the part that spins, I'm pretty sure that got frozen. It was so cold last night. And I was out there till like 11 o'clock at night. And so, yeah, I think I put it away. And then it obviously was frozen and never thawed out. And then I went out there today and tried to use it. And I was like, why ain't that thing engaging? So I kept doing it. And it was shredding the belts. And so, yeah, there was like belts shredded all over the place. So I think I have to get some new belts for that bad boy and have my buddy fix it. My one neighbor is like, yo, put that thing in my garage. He has like a heated garage. It's sweet. And he's like, yo, put that thing in my garage. Come over, get the parts, fix that thing so you're nice and warm. There's plenty of lighting in here. He's the man. So I had to put my snowblower in one of my neighbor's yards. And yeah, the ice, I'm telling you, the ice built up, and it didn't even shear like a pin or anything. It froze the auger because I was watching videos and I was looking at it and I'm like, wow, the cover where the belts are, it had like this little melt mark on it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that didn't have that there before. I wonder what that's from. And then I was watching these videos on YouTube, and the guy was like, yeah, man, remember the customer came in and his cover was melted. he needed to replace his belts, and he said his like the auger was frozen, and then he messed up the belts. And I'm like, well, that's exactly what just happened to mine. So hopefully that's all it is. I'm gonna get some new belts hopefully tomorrow, and then put it in. The shear pins aren't bad. I actually have a couple of them. So yeah, you just walk with them in your pocket. Exactly. I have some of them bad boys sitting in my shed just in case. But yeah, definitely don't have the belts laying around. At least I don't think I have the belts. Actually, you know what? I should probably look where yeah, I don't think I have the belts for that thing. I have to get them. But anyway, there you go. So yeah, I told you we had a lot of snow yesterday. And my Arians, that's the snowblower I have, is a beast. It's a monster, and I even messed up that thing, so I got to fix that. They're talking about a possible another storm. It's not a guarantee, but it's a possibility. Could be cruising up or at least forming. So I definitely want to get it fixed because I do not want to be without that bad boy. That's for sure. But anyway, let's cruise along. Just call you Baron Schutzelstaff, McLaren's face, Chief ICE Immigration and Tariffs Official. There you go. And so, yeah, there you are with that laptop travel. Look at that. That's what he wrote up there. If you guys were wondering what I was just saying. And so let's cruise through. We'll look at our list. How is everybody tonight? Hope everybody is shoveled out and all that good stuff. The kids have actually a 2-hour delay tomorrow. My wife still has off, I guess, the town that her school's in. They didn't really plow so well. So, yeah, they still have, she has another day off tomorrow, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, let's rock and roll right through. ONDS, that was dipping down today. It looks like it's going to dip down a little bit tomorrow, and we might want to watch it to see if it meets right up there in the 950s. I mean, it's at 1123. We'll look at it tomorrow, but it could definitely dip down. Janicus silver was absolutely crazy. I think laptop travel might be on to something. I think silver and gold could be topping out, guys. I'm not going to lie. Look at gold. You just got that resistance formed right here. That's your top. That's generally your top, guys. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it'll pop up more. I think that's getting topped out a little bit. You see them pulling back. Now, whether they just come back down to the 423 area or somewhere's in this vicinity right here, possibly 430s, it could easily come back down and then set back up. You can see it trying to, it's staying bullish. And once it's set up, but that's a massive run up in the top. You had one right here. I mean, that was a pretty massive run up, but it wasn't making spikes. You can see, right? When I circled that on the chart, look where that is right here. I mean, it did run up, but these are like, this is like, look at that massive spike up. So I think it has to kind of recoil back a little bit, just looking at the chart. And I think that's going to be a little resistance area right there at, let's see, I would say like 464. Let's call it that. I can't really tell, but it's somewhere's right there. So I can't tell because that candle's like right on top of it. So somewhere's in that area right there. Gold measured a rejection level. Something that earlier rejection, something I don't know. No, where's Luis Rodriguez? Put laptop travels message through your through that AI. No, I'm just kidding. What's that word? Level something. It says oin. I know it's a misspelling of something, but I don't know what that is supposed to say. Anyway, let's cruise through and I'll see what we're looking at here. Cadence and Janica and laptop travel and everybody else hanging out here tonight. Who else is hanging out? Everybody, make sure you stop onto the stream and say hello and pop up a stock ticker. We'll look at it and let's cruise right through and look at our list right here and see what's happening. Galaxy right here dipping down and let's just go through crypto right off the bat as well. I always like to do that off the bat so I don't forget. And Bitcoin at 88K, it does look a lot better. And I'm going through because I think Galaxy could try to run up with crypto. Now, we'll look at it tomorrow. I'm not guaranteeing you. I do think that bottomed out right there off that dip. Although your 20 still coming down, I was looking at it today. I think I have to look at it more tomorrow. It does appear like it wants to try to curl up, but I can't promise you because crypto's been really volatile, really crazy. It should have got back into this trend. and that bullish trend, and now it's not. So I have to keep an eye on this. I've been watching it to see what's going on. Ethereum does look a little bit better. You can see, well, at the moment anyway, it's pretty green right there, trying to curl up anyway, and that looks like it would try to curl up. So that looks like it has potential. And then Ripple, that is down here, and that could get cruising. You can see that looks almost like a bottom area where it wants to send off. So that doesn't look too bad. And then your Solana, same situation as Ripple almost in the other. So we'll see. Bitcoin, I don't know if it's going to get rejected too much lower, but it's been very volatile and it needs to get back up here. And I'm telling you, you know what it is? It has to get back into this channel. This channel doesn't matter. You know why? Because of that tax law selling. It threw it off. So the real channel's up here. And look where it got rejected, guys, right there. Isn't that wild? If you like I'm drawing a line like that. I could probably do it on here with something like this. There's a line. How do I draw it? I don't even know how to do it. There you go. Look at that. Something new every day. But there's your line right there. Look where, oh, I didn't let go of it. There it goes. But look at that, guys. Look where it touched. Isn't that crazy? And then it came back down. And that was tax law selling right there. Kind of crazy what you see, but that's what was happening. And then it lost itself when it should have got back into this channel up here. So I don't know. I guess I can't draw another line. I have to go like this, I guess. So yeah, it should have stayed up in this channel up here. And I didn't even draw a good line there. That's a terrible line. Anyway, that's why I don't do this. I can't draw a straight line to save my freaking life. That line was terrible. That was way off. Anyway, who cares? I'll draw it that way. It doesn't even matter. But anyway, and then I hit the lock button. Get rid of this stuff. Remove all these drawings. Okay, here we go. But anyway, now you see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was tax law selling, and it dipped back down. It's got to get back into this channel up here, and then it can get cruising again. And it's just way volatile, and it's not doing it. So anyway, what did you say here? Level on that earlier rejection days. Still, I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, who cares? We'll figure it out in a moment there, laptop travel, and with gold and all that. But there's your crypto, and that's what it looks like. And again, Bitcoin just trying to get set back up. I do think it'll try to curl up a little bit and try to move a little more. It does look like it bottomed out. The rest of them look pretty decent to try to move up, but just trying to show you what I've been looking at. And you could see it happening. And I remember it got into a bullish channel. We knew it. And then that was weird, tax law selling. And then it thought it was getting right back in there. It should have leveled up right here. That was a normal pullback, but that candle lost it right there. Now you can see it pulling back. It needed to pop off of there, then pop up here, and then it would have been perfect. It would have just ran its course, or maybe dipped down after. I don't know, but it would have stayed the course anyway at that moment. But that's what's going on there with Bitcoin, and you can see my beautiful drawings, and I can't even draw a straight line, even when it makes you draw a straight line. It's pretty bad. So there you are. But here we go. And that's crypto right there. Galaxy, like I said, pulling back today. We'll keep an eye on that. ASTS right here pulling back pretty big. Look at that pullback. So maybe it will be coming back down and we get a nice dip opportunity on that one. And then your UMAC pulling back. So all these guys were pulling back after them big run-ups last week. Redwire, big pullback there as well. And then your Rocket Lab was down pretty good, and that looks like it wants to come down. So maybe these are opportunities tomorrow just to put them down, just because the momentum on them is going down pretty good. Nuclear going down, and then your Qs and SPY look great, and we'll go through that in a few moments. But just going through these, they looked great last week. They were running Oklo right here going down, OKLO, and then your EOSE right here, that electrical part company, that was dipping down. So all of these ones dipping down after them nice run-ups, and then we'll keep our eye on these. I think the rotation's happening here where you're seeing it go back into the big caps. And they do have earnings, so they're probably going to beat their earnings, it looks like. And then the market's going to have a catalyst, and then it can get ripping. The Qs look good. The SPY look good, and we'll look at them in a minute. Let's just keep on cruising right through some of these that were dipping down today. And CRML, critical metals right here, dipping down as well and pulling back. USAR was up a little bit, and then it was up a little more in the after hours. Now it did jump up big in the morning there, it did pull back, but it's trying to run up in the after hours, and I'm not even so sure about that. And again, they had that crazy news yesterday, and then it ran up in the over hours. So I think that got sold the news where people were trading that in the over hours. So that was an odd one there today. That was a little different or weird anyway. MP big dip right here. I didn't mean to be on there. There you go, MP. Look at that coming back down. Now, is it going to bounce right back up? It could, but I don't know. That's a pretty big red candle on there. That's pretty solid coming down. At least that's what it looks like at the moment. And again, it could just be that rotation right here. UAVS, AG Eagle Aerial, and that was pulling back. So all these guys pulling back, they were all running up already. And then let's take a look and see what our computer hardware and quantum ones, because our GTI I thought was pulling setting up, and so did with IONQ. IONQ, yeah, this one. And look at that big dip. So both of them pulled back pretty good right there. They both look like they were setting up to me. RGTI, like I said, look at that pulling back. QBT pulling back a little bit. QBTS, that D wave was pulling back. I was looking at that, and that looks like it was setting up, and now it's coming back down. And QMCO, that's down a little bit as well. And another one trying to set up. Maybe that'll bounce off that support line down here. It could easily do it as it's getting set up. We should keep an eye on that one. Not looking too bad. And what's the Quantum Defiance, Quantum ETF? And that's even pulling back a little bit right there. QSI. That's just been kind of hanging out down here. It was trying to set up a little bit. And our cat right here is pulling back. That one had run up massively. And maybe that's a big pullback opportunity. And Z Space coming back down. So Z Space not holding its ground after it was looking pretty good. And there you go with our quantum and computer hardware one. So let's keep on going through our list and continue to our healthcare couple. UNH right here, and that was dipping down right there. They do have earnings. Is that tomorrow? I forget. That is the 27th. So UNH earnings tomorrow, and we'll have to look at it there. MOH was down today, but that's in an interesting spot, and I think that one could be. It's like sitting right here, but it falls back down, and now this top, you could see a pretty good dip on that Molina. So just be careful of that. And Oscar right here is just hanging out, but Oscar, I'm telling you, this thing looks like it's setting up. You remember I had it on the when I popped up here the other day on the Trend Spider, I was looking at Oscar, and we can look at it on here right now. And it is having an interesting look, because when you look at it over here, it looks like it's setting up. And then when you look at it over here, it looks like it wants to dip. And I keep going back and forth saying, does this thing want to run or does it want to dip? And it's just kind of driving me crazy, I think. And I can't get a good idea. And this has been going on for days now, as you can tell. Look at it. It's like dipping down here, but setting up great over here. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm keeping an eye on it. And I've been looking at it because I just can't get a good idea. I'm like, I just still can't tell. It really looks like it wants to pop when I look at. That's why I look at two charts. Here's a good example, guys, of exactly, like, I wouldn't be able to trade this one because I can't tell exactly what it wants to do. And I'm glad I can't tell what it wants to do, or at least I'm glad I have both looks, because something's weird when something like that happens. There's something usually off, and I would say I wouldn't play it for that reason alone. But if I was just looking at this, I would think it was getting set up. It looks pretty good, even though it's crossing down here. You'd think it might be curling up there, and then you look at this, it doesn't look like it really wants to curl up. It looks like it wants to go down more. So a very weird look there with Oscar. Just showing you something I've been checking out. And again, I don't even know if I want to trade it. I'm just more interested, like, what does it want to do? Just because it's giving me them two different looks, so it got my attention. And again, I know the other day I remember popping this Trend Spider up, and Oscar was on there, and I've been looking at it for a few days. I just can't tell. So anyway, if anybody has any opinions on Oscar right there, feel free to chime in. Let us know what you think, because it is two different charts, and that is why. And usually the charts coincide and run together, and when they don't, I usually have a big red flag up and say I wouldn't touch that thing for some reason. I don't know, but something weird's going on, and I have no idea what it is. So what did Kramer say? He said something about that a couple days ago. But anyway, that's Oscar and UNH and MOH right there. Open right here. What was that up to today? It was dipping down a little bit. That looks like it's going to pull back as well. What about ASST right here? This was pulling back. Wow, it's down into the 70s again. I didn't even look at it today. That looks like it's pulling back some more for that ASST. That looks like it's a wash right there. Who them dudes had a bunch in that? Do they still have that laptop travel? And again, I forget the dudes' names every single time. But anyway, whoever the dudes are that were talking about this thing and buying it and pumping it. I forget their two names, but yeah, I don't know if they're still in it or involved in it or talking about it, but it is dipping down. Let's put it that way. So there you go. With ASST right there. And let's see what Nasdaq is doing right here. It was down a little bit. And this one, yeah, that one could pull back a little more into the basement as well. So all kinds of good pullbacks right now at the moment. HTZ, good old Hertz. Remember, I said that quick little run up there and it hit some resistance. I don't remember if the resistance was there already, but it did hit that and then came back down. And we'll see if it once it gets set up. It's nothing. I don't think it's anything crazy. It looked pretty good before, and now it doesn't. Look at Chipotle right here pulling back. I mean, still has that trend line right there and not looking too bad, but that's a good red candle and could come through tomorrow. So we'll be keeping an eye on Chipotle, CMG, see if it dips down right here. It looks like it wants to bounce to me, but I can't promise you. That just looks, it usually does bounce off. You have that 20, you still have the 50 down there, but you don't want to see it that low. And that's Chipotle right there, and that's CMG. And of course, our Cracker Barrel was down today. Look at this thing dipping back down, guys, crossing through that MACD. And I'm telling you, we got to keep an eye on it. It's going to have this little setup period right here in the middle of February. If it doesn't get popping off of there and actually get running, which I don't think it will, I'm telling you, this thing's in the crapper right there. So, and again, they were already laying off corporate people. We already know that. So that's why it started to pop. And I explained all that stuff before. Wall Street loves when you do that. It looks good for your numbers. And but it's not a good sign. And so yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that Cracker Barrel and see what's going on. We've been enjoying watching this stock chart right there. And how about your boil? It was still boiling along right there and looking pretty good. Look at that bad boy up 12%. Still looks pretty good. What's the opposite? Cold? That's pretty cold right now, huh? Yeah, that's dipping down pretty good. And then the other one is Boil and Gush right here. And that's your oil and gas one. And that is pulling. That's hitting some resistance. I don't know if that'll exactly be rolling right there. So we'll have to look at that. That one could be pulling back. ExxonMobil right there pulling back a little bit. That looks like it's topped out. And OXY, good old Oxy, that's hitting some resistance as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on them ones. This one was looking pretty good, RBNE, and looks pretty good to try to run up. Look at that, trying to get set up right there. Robin Energy might get some energy going. So keep an eye on that one right there. And what about that TMD? I remember this one ran recent. Ooh, that one's going to get set up. That still has some time as well. So it recently ran up. This was over 100% right there. And then it dipped down. So there you go with that TMDE. And keep on cruising right through the Plug right here. And Plug was looking good until it dipped today. It didn't look so. It looked all right Friday. And again, over the weekend, it's hard to tell exactly what they're going to do. But you got that pullback. And we'll see if it wants to bounce off that 50 and 20. And let's see it over here. Let's get a better look at Plug because it was looking good. And now it looks like it wants to dip right through and come down. So interesting turnaround for that one. It was definitely looking good last week. And let's keep on cruising right along here. And QuantumScape right here is way down today. And that one looks like it's falling apart. So there you go with that. There you go, Zach, with your rocket. And this could be a good spot right here. You have your trend line. It built your trend line. It looks like it could be decent. Maybe you get that one again, RKT. So check that out, rocket companies. And I know Zach likes that one. We've been watching it for him. And IMRX right here. This one had that run up. May have a little bit of pullback right here, but again, this is that pancreatic cancer one. And I think this one's going to be in good shape to try to run up right there. So we'll definitely be watching that one. And Lucid right here pulled back. It had that good run up last week. And now pulling back a little bit. Rich Tech Robotics right there pulling back today. and that topped out last week. So we'll see if that one, once it gets set back up, you can see that 20 coming up in the 50. Good support right there. Getting set up down here, though. So you got to be kind of careful of that. Rich Tech Robotics, no problem. Zach right there. But yeah, Rocket right there. Not looking too bad. Look at that. Getting set back up. It did exactly what I said it was going to do. Did it not, Zach? I mean, that was as perfect as you can call them right there. If you traded it as what I said, you would have traded that thing absolutely pinpointed perfect. That would have been textbook. And again, I can sit there and tell you like almost what every stock can do. Then you got to go and trade them all. But that's what Rocket was doing. And I know Zach had it down, and hopefully he traded it like that as well. So there you go with RKT. And like I said, with Rich Tech Robotics pulling back today, and we'll see if it wants to bounce back up. Galt right here. Saw that pulling back, but it does have that good support. So I think this one still will have a chance to run up. We'll keep an eye. It definitely looked good when it was running up right here, hit the 20. I thought it would get through it there last week, but obviously did not. We'll see if it can get that momentum this week for GALT right there. That's that Galt. And then your fun still looking pretty good right there. It's trying to curl back up, laptop travel. And so, yeah, that is looking good. But play Dave and Buster's is probably not a good play. And thank you, Zach. He said, certainly called that bad boy. Yeah, we did. We nailed that bad boy right there. We probably nail like half this list more. We nail a lot of these things. It's just like I always say, you can't possibly trade them all. So you were into Rocket Mortgage. You were asking about it. And so we followed it along for you, obviously. And there you go. We got you to trade that thing perfectly. That's their names, ASST guys, Eric Johnson and Mike. Is it Mike Abrams or Mike Adams or something? I think your thing did a spelling. Isn't it Mike Adams? Something like that. But Eric Jackson is definitely the one dude. And there you go. Thank you, Laptop Travel, for reminding me. I'm telling you, you could tell me every single. I don't know what it is. I can't remember them guys' names. I don't know why. Maybe I've never written them down. I need to do that, or I just can't remember their names for some odd reason. It's so bizarre. But every time I talk about Open or ASST, I just draw like I'm just completely blank. I sometimes remember this Eric dude's name, but Mike, whatever, I don't remember. I don't know why, but I don't mean to. I try to remember their names. I just don't remember them. But anyway, there you go. And how are you, Master Keys? We'll go through them bad boys, that's for sure. And how are you, Doge Mama 9? And it is Abrams, so it's Mike Abrams. All right. I thought it was like Mike something else. So anyway, Mike Abrams, I trust you, Laptop Travel, you know. And there you are. So yeah, I just can't remember. Maybe I'll remember. I say this every time. Maybe I'll remember them. I don't remember them. I don't know why I can't remember their names are so simple too. I mean, it's not like they have hard names. Eric Jackson and Mike Abrams. I mean, you would think I could remember that, but anyway, some reason I can't, Laptop Travel. So you're gonna have to continue to remind me for the rest of my life, I think, every time we talk about them. But here we go. Let's go have some fun. That looks good. Play is not. I think play will be a good play when it gets back down here. So wait into the 17s. That might be a good play as it dips down. Mike Alford, that's it. I didn't think it was at Abrams. Alford, that's his last name, Mike Alford. See, I didn't realize that it wasn't his last name. Thank you, Laptop Travel. It is Mike Alford. That's his last name. Thank you. I still won't remember it, but I did recognize that Abrams wasn't his last name for some reason. But I know I've said it a million times. I just don't remember his name. Anyway, not a big deal, not very important. And they're the guys that always pump that Open and ASST. And then I mention them, but I can't remember their names. That's all. If you're just tuning in and wondering why I'm talking about them guys, nothing bad or anything. I don't even know who they really are. I just can never remember their names. It's kind of odd. But anyway, there you go. And play may drop. That's what I'm saying right there, dude. I'm saying the same thing, Michael Anthony. Let it drop down. You said down into the 14s down here. Where are you going? Whoa, you're going way down. You're taking it way down, Michael. Well, let's excuse me. Let's stop over here first, though, like 17 or yeah, in like the 17s first, and then we'll see if Dave and Buster's continues to free fall down there. But a lot of times it does jump up on its support. So we'll see what happens with that one. And let's continue right through and see what the rest of our list like ASPI was up to. This was dipping down pretty good. That's right, it was down huge this morning. I do remember seeing that. And we did talk about USAR already, and that did run up big overnight, and then it came down today. I think it was a big sell to news, and a lot of people and again, I don't know who the hell are buying these things overnight in the futures and all that stuff. I don't even get it. Who the heck is trading that stuff? I don't know. But anyway, UAMY, another one coming down, and we were trading this, and I think all these guys are topping out right here. So we've seen this happen before. Do you guys remember when it happened back here? We called the tops on almost all of these, but at one point I remember nailing it, and I think we're topping out on these guys again, and now we're seeing that rotation back into the big caps mag 7. Oh, and that's what we're seeing right now. So yeah, I think that's what you're getting, and that's perfectly fine because look, then they pull back and they get set up, and then they run up again, and we catch them, and they're a good time. Maybe they set up a little bit faster this time, but that's what I think we're looking at. Nothing real crazy, to be honest with you. And that that 4U's finally pulling back. But Michael Anthony's right here was looking pretty good, guys. Keep an eye on that. I would say that's setting up just like Rocket Mortgage right there, Cadence. That is looking pretty good, Michael Anthony. I'll give you that. And these guys, they make smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. I know. Michael Anthony told me they make a bunch of other products, but I don't know what he's talking about. I don't see them on the website. We did like a whole commercial about them the other day. I'm not going to lie. So we won't go into it, but anyway, and I hope everybody cleared their dryer vents and their heater vents out their house. When it snowed the other day, I definitely went. My dryer vent was covered with snow. I had to shovel that bad boy out, and but my heater vent that one's up high enough. Most of them are high enough. Like I said, some of the some basements you'll have your dryer vent will be kind of low. And so you got to make sure you clear the snow, especially when you get 10 inches of snow and it drifts up like that on your house. It will cover them bad boys up. So you got to dig them out, make sure you have plenty of space so that they're not blocked and putting carbon monoxide back into your house. So I was talking about that. We were talking about this company and all that good stuff. So little safety info for you. But anyway, you looking good right there, Michael Anthony. I agree with you. And Laptop Travel was agreeing as well right there. So that is what that bad boy looks like. LMT, Lockheed Martin down big today too, and I think this fly is going to come down too as well, and that was dipping down. So yeah, I don't know. Are they going to bounce right back up? I mean, let's see. Lockheed Martin, look at that massive run up, and again, you could see the rotation happen. You've seen it here. You got that big run up, and then you come back down. You come back down a little bit more, and then they explode, guys. So I think you're going to have to see it. Maybe it comes only down to that 540 area, but that's still a pretty good pullback right there, about $40. But we'll be keeping an eye. And again, that could be a lot of these guys look like that they're trying to pull back at the moment. Again, fly isn't so fly right there, pulling back, and your arm holdings is pulling back as well. So there you go with them. Mimi not looking too bad. Doge Mama 9, check this bad boy out. I know it was down. It was up a little bit today, but it does look like it's trying to get set up. That looked like it bottomed out the other day, and it does look like it's trying to set up here. So you keep an eye on that one. MOBX right here. Another one that looks like it. Remember, we said that trend line was probably going to have to come down for it. So I think that is another one right there that needs a little bit of setup time, but it's relatively soon. So you can keep an eye on that. And Michael Anthony swears that they makes outlets that you plug in for your TV, your radio, toaster, anything that needs power, and makes lights by them wanting you to buy them or something like that. But anyway, I don't know where they should have made a fortune right now. Then Michael Anthony, you're right. I would assume that you would be doing well if they sell outlets that you can plug. And anything that needs power. So they're just outlets. That's all. I thought you were talking about things that could run without power, but they would have been out too with the power outages. But anyway, let's go back to our list. Had me sidetracked over here, Michael Anthony. And Mimi, like I said, looking good. MOBX, that's what I was saying. That looks good, and I think it does have a little setup period. And your oh, I can't even spell, but your NMTC is that Nora One Medical Technologies. Look at this bad boy. I'm telling you, this thing looking really good. We've learned about the company. We talked to the CEO, and it does look pretty good. And Doge Mama Nine's keeping an eye out on that Mimi right there. I'm telling you, that does look good. MOBX looking pretty good right there. Grab right here coming down a little bit, but this could be an interesting spot. I'd actually say, let's see if it rolls off the MACD going down, and we grab it at a cheaper price. So that's what I was looking at right there. Kept it on the list. Signing day sports right here. Remember we mentioned this last night. I remember I wrote this one down. Which ones were they? I wrote 3 of them down. It was GameStop, IO&Q, and Signing Day Sports. IO&Q. Didn't run up this morning, like first thing this morning or something. Let me see. I gotta look. Yeah, it was up early this morning. I do remember that. And then it came down, and it's trying to run up, but not really anyway. But there you go. But the moral of the story is, I had this one written down, SGN, this morning, and it did run up, and it was looking pretty good. Keep an eye on that one. I think I mentioned it last night, Doge Mama 9. So there you go with that. And let's see, yeah, I mentioned it last night. And that's Signing Day Sports right there, SGN. And let's see what Data Vault. I mentioned this today on the small cap show. If you were listening to that, we also interviewed the CEO Stewart from Air, and that was a good interview right there. And so you can go back and listen to the replay. And we also did a good half hour on the small cap show. Laptop Travel joined us today, and we were talking about some stocks. I mentioned this one, and again, just watching this bad boy, seeing if it's going to pull back a little bit more. I think that could be a decent opportunity. IO&Q is acquiring SkyT. No way. Are they really? Isn't that? Oh, wait. Isn't this? Which one was the other one that's like a Sky something else that like is a water one? What's the water one? Isn't there one that's like a water company or something? Or am I completely off? I don't know. SkyT, huh? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm thinking of something different, but IO&Q's acquiring these guys. That's interesting right there. I don't know what they do, but I don't know what IO&Q does anyway. It's a computer hardware. IO&Q strikes a definitive $1.8 billion deal to acquire Skywater Technology for $35 a share, 15 cash, 20 stock, with Skywater to become a wholly owned subsidiary led by CEO Thomas Sanderman, reporting to IO&Q CEO Niccolo Di Masi, and raises its 2025 outlook to high end or above its prior 106 to 110 million revenue range or something like that. So anyway, there you go. That's some good info for you right there about IO&Q and SkyT. And again, what does SkyT even do? I don't even know what they do. I can't even type it in. SkyT. There you go. Skywater. Oh, yeah, maybe this is that company I was thinking of. Skywater right here. I think isn't this the one that Ben talks about? I'm pretty sure it is, if I'm correct. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is it. And that is interesting right there. Interesting acquisition. And let's continue to go through. That was Data Vault we were just looking at. And again, we'll look at that, see if it can go down a little bit more. FMFC right here, another penny stock in an interesting place. I know I talked about it the other week, and it did run up there. A little bit of pullback. If that 20 can crawl back up on it, I'll look at it tomorrow. That could be an interesting one right there for FMFC. So definitely we'll keep an eye on that. See if it does want to get cruising this week. And this one we used to look at all the time. No, GXAI, I think. This one we've looked at a few times. They changed their name on this. They had to because I think this was something else. But anyway, this bad boy, CXAI right here, this was looking pretty decent. And somebody had mentioned that it was running up a little bit there today. It's hitting F50. We'd have to look at it tomorrow. I think that could be its good run up. And then we'd have to see if it wants to pull back there tomorrow. So that was an interesting one. GXAI is at Gaxo. I don't know how to. What is it called? What is it? What I just say? GXAI. Yeah. What is it called? Gaxos AI, something like that. This was up there today too, but also pulled back. So anyway, there you go with 2 AI ones. as well. So that is what they look like. Michael Anthony, let's take a few minutes and look at ABEO right here. That's touching the 20. It could get bouncing right there. Your Delo right here wasn't looking bad either today. I saw that curling up, not looking bad. How about LW? Just kind of hanging out. Like I said, I did sell my options a little bit ago, but that one still doesn't have a bad look in your UEC, and that one could be topped out. What do you think about UEC now, Michael Anthony? Do you think it's going to be coming down, crossing through the MACD, coming down? What do you think about that? And let's talk about it, Michael Anthony. Tell us your opinion on UEC. You mentioned it down here somewhere, and it started running up. So you let us know. And let's see what else is going on here with the Jolie's Jam. Still have not heard back from Asian Jolie. Hope everything is okay with her. And we're keeping our Jolie's Jams on here. I'm not going to lie, just in honor of Asian Jolie. And Rhythm right here, still down right there, but it almost has like an interesting look going in after Friday and today's look. So it could pull back a little bit more, to be honest with you. And how about that Blink charging right here, dipping back down a little bit? And your Sezzle, let's see about Sezzle down a little bit. That looks like it could be moving along right there. And Sterling, so we'll keep an eye on Sezzle. Sterling, look at this bad boy. Now that looks like it could be running tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. We do like that one. Rivian right here dipping down, and does look like it's going to dip down a little bit more as well. And then your Symbiotic was pulling back some right there. So there you go with that one. And let's see what's going on. UEC, what did you say? Would not wait. What did you say? I would wait to buy UEC at 1048. So Michael Anthony, it's coming all the way down there, guys. So how about this, Michael Anthony? Why do we not put shorts on this then? Well, or not shorts, puts. What's today? The 26th. So maybe even go out here and let's see what the puts look like over here. It's at 1835, and they're not too bad right there. I mean, 84, 180, 108. I mean, I can't even read, but these aren't too bad. 70 cents. Look at them right there. Whoa, that would be what? Oh yeah, it's $16. I was gonna say they're getting pretty cheap right there. If it could come back to your 1450, Michael Anthony, you could pick them bad boys up for really cheap. But yeah, they would be your puts right there. And so yeah, we can keep an eye on that and see what's going on with that. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that and see what's happening right there with UEC anyway. And there's a lot of them, like I said, like look at Rocket Lab right here. I mean, that thing looks like it wants to go down. There's a ton of them that look like they want to go back down. So let's keep an eye on that. That looks like an opportunity right there, if that's the way you want to play the market, and just trying to give you some different looks, some different opportunities. And we do the entire market, whether it's your penny stocks, Michael Anthony, or anything else. We look at it. It has a chart. We're checking it out. Has an opportunity. We're going to look at it too to see if we can take advantage of it. So here we go. And yeah, if it's going to drop to 40, Michael Anthony, that's like half of its value at this moment. Why are you not putting a put on this bad boy? I mean, wouldn't that make sense right now? So, and when they fall down, they like to fall down pretty quick. So that's Rocket Lab and a lot of them, guys. So we should really look into these opportunities, and I'm going to bring that up in the Discord. So you should be paying attention to that. But giving you a little insight right there as well. So something to pay attention to right now. And AMST, let's look at our laptop travel list, Amosite or something like that in the channel right here, curling up. That could be a good one. Is this BlackBerry? I thought it was BB. I was wondering when I wrote it down. I was like, is BlackBerry still around? Look at this thing at 381. That's amazing that there's like still hanging in there somehow. It's sitting on that trend line. I guess anything could happen with BlackBerry. And CNET right here. That actually doesn't look too bad. It just has a weird look about it. That's all about that one. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow. Laptop travel and CN Energy right here. Now that one looks good. That could continue to run up. It was running up good today. A little bit of pullback in the after hours, it looks like, though. And let's see. Yeah, it did pull back in the after hour. Well, that was a really good one there today. As a matter of fact, your fat brands, I know we talked about this, and not looking too bad right there. Now, that one could get set up real easy in Game House, GMHS. And like we were talking about this last night, that is spiking around. What did it go to? 96 to 101. It closed at $1. And it's not looking too bad right there, GMHS. And that GTIM is Good Times Restaurants. And let's see if they're going to have a good time. Cracker Barrel doesn't seem to be having a good time right now. But how about Good Times Restaurants? And it doesn't look too bad right there. It's in that channel. You can keep an eye on that one. And costs right here. Costs, consumer electronics. And I don't know. What is it? This one up to? It is up. It does look like it's trying to curl up right there. So not looking too bad. Don't they make like stereo equipment or something? I think. I don't know if I'm right about that, but they could. It says something about electronics. MTNB, Matina's Biopharma. That's hitting the 50 right there. It could try to get through. I'm not sure about it tomorrow, though. So I'd have to look at that. ONFO on Folio Holdings, and that's hitting a little resistance. So just be careful there. And what is it? Reeds Inc. right here. That looks good right there. Laptop Travel. Keep an eye on REED. And TACT right here is up. And that's running up right there, curling up. Have a little resistance up here, but could hit that resistance at about 411 right there. So keep an eye on good old Reed, REED. And TACT right here is, that was running up. Transact Technologies. That could continue its way tomorrow. You can keep an eye on that. And this UOKA is a UK one, real estate one. And we've looked at it a bunch of times back in the day. It used to spike around like crazy. It does have these crazy candles and spikes. And it is curling up pretty nice right there. Whoa, what it do in the after hours, though? It looked way better right there. It took a huge dip in the after hours. You see that Laptop Travel? I wasn't looking at it because it looked like it was curling up. But then I just noticed that. And that is a wild dip right there. So interesting, that's for sure. And that is your Laptop Travel list. Thank you, Laptop Travel. Let's look at your futures right here. There's your Dow Jones. And what is it doing right now in the overnight? It is a little bit down, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like they're a little bit down, as you can see, 0.27%. Your S&P is a little tiny bit up, nothing real crazy right there. And then your Nasdaq's up a little bit. So an interesting look for them guys. And let's see what energy's up to right here real quick. And that natural gas has been running up there. It got a little bit crazy. And let me see if anything else is grabbing my attention. These metals right here, like I said, watch gold and silver. That's almost getting topped out, I think. Platinum right here. Yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye. Copper as well. And this one, I forget how to say it, but palladium, palladium, I think. I don't even know. But anyway, that's how you say it or something like that. And that's what they look like. That's what crypto's doing. We went through it already. It does look like it's trying to set up and bounce back up. We were talking about it at the beginning of the show. And let's continue right through and look at our SPY Mag 7 big caps, them guys, and then I can come through and see what you guys want to look at right there, like Adobe and CoreWeave and CNET, everything else. So we looked at CNET, but Michael Anthony said can be bought at 116 unless they report earnings. And if good goes higher, but if bad, then the bottom could be anywhere. And that is CNET right there. And again, these are pretty quick swings right here. So that's all you're looking for. So anyway, let's cruise through our SPY. I'll tell you what, the SPY looks really good right here. And the Qs look really good right here. Look at the SPY curling up, look pretty healthy. Looks like it wants to run. QQQ right there, that looks pretty healthy. Has some resistance though, but look at it curling up, hitting the 50. We'll see tomorrow, hitting the MACD line. I meant to say, hitting that resistance. We'll see tomorrow. They seem to want to run up. They look like they're up in the after hours, as a matter of fact. So anything can happen with them. And obviously, we'll be taking a look at them first thing tomorrow at 7 a.m. when we do the morning show to see what we're getting into. And your IWM was pulling back a little today and looks like it wants to pull back some more. We'll see if it wants to bounce off that MACD. But let's go through our Mag 7 big caps and all these guys, and then we'll see what you guys want to look at. Apple looking really good. And like I said at the beginning of the show, this one, I was a little bit early. I thought the pop-up was coming right here. It did take that dip, and then now it's popping up to that 20 at least right there, and see if it can get through. But Apple looking pretty good. And Amazon right here, let's see. That was down a little bit. That one does look like it wants to crawl off the MACD and come down. Maybe Amazon isn't exactly ready. Google looking pretty good. Remember, we were saying Google's getting set up. I think Google is getting set up right there. So Google and Apple looking pretty good. Meta had them big run ups and it's still running up. And that one looks pretty good. And I know Microsoft, that was running up the other day and that continued to run up right there. And that still looks pretty good. So couple of these Mag 7s, like I said, are getting set up right here. And that's where you could see this rotation. And then NVIDIA is getting set up right there. And I think NVIDIA is going to get moving. Tesla is dipping down. We'll see how much more it has good resistance there. Good support, I mean, under there. So we'll see if it wants to dip under there and how far if it does. And then your AMC was down. GameStop was up pretty good today. Remember back when we were saying that this thing had been getting set up and something was going on? I should pull that clip right there. But anyway, GameStop, that's running up and looking pretty good. I think Michael Berry was buying. There you go. The big short investor Michael Berry said he's betting on this OG meme stock. I think he's buying shares or something. You can check that out if you want. Chewy right here was down. Unity didn't look too bad, though. That was trying to go up a little bit right there. And then, of course, our Netflix, it was dipping down a little bit. It's still trying to get out of that basement area. It was in the dungeon. Now it's coming out of the basement. It should try to pop up there. And AVGO bouncing right back up. These semiconductor ones, they don't mess around. They jump right back up when they pull back. So you definitely want to watch that, especially this guy, MU. Watch this dip right here. We'll see how much it really wants to dip on MU. And any dip it gets, it might be a great opportunity. Obviously, TSM kind of dipping down as well. So we'll keep an eye on all these semiconductors and see how much they really want to dip down. SMCI coming down. And then we'll take advantage of these opportunities. AMD coming down as well. So that's what we have to look at. And again, if you're really confident that they're going to come down because they look like they want to, you can even run puts on them and take them down that way and then take them back up. QCOM right there. Look at it. It doesn't look too healthy. And Snow was going back up, but I don't know if it's going to really cross through and go up right now. That is a software company. It could run differently. And PayPal right here. I mean, it's been trying to do something. When's its earnings coming up at the beginning of February? And I don't know if PayPal gets moving either. It just is kind of hanging there in a lull. And let's see what Intel, unless them earnings are real good. I don't know if PayPal is going to get crazy. Intel pulling back pretty good right there after their earnings. And Dell right here. Remember, we were saying Dell's getting set up. I think that is getting set up. So that one might be a great one to take a look at and check that one out. IBM right there still trying to run up, and we'll see if it wants to continue its way up there for IBM. Palantir I thought was looking good last night, but as you can see, pulling back a little bit. Saw it today. Still doesn't look too bad as it's trying to set up. And Sophie right here just kind of hanging out. And then, of course, Mara and Riot, these guys are going down, and Clean Spark even pulling back there. So you have all of them pulling back at the moment with crypto and MicroStrategy right here. And like I said, Sayer's just like, can I catch a break? Can crypto finally move and stay moving at once? And it can't. And Robinhood just kind of hanging out, not looking perfect. And Coinbase pulling back a little bit. And Webull right there even pulling back. So we were saying they need to get their presence on social media and really start getting it cranking there for Webull. And let's take a look at space right here, dipping down a little bit as well. So that looks like a little dip down. Boeing pulling back like Lockheed Martin was, as you can see. And then your DJT right here, dipping down. And what else? Nike right here was down just a little bit. It doesn't look too bad for Nike. We'd have to look at it tomorrow. McDonald's, like I had said, remember I said this one was going to run up there, and it could continue to run up right there. And what is Disney doing? There you go, Luis Rodriguez. It is setting up. It could pull back a little bit as it's setting up, but not looking bad. We looked at Oxy earlier. It was pulling back there. ExxonMobil was too. And let's see what DXYZ is doing there. And that's pulling back. So interesting right there. Interesting path for all of these, Luis Rodriguez. And your path right here is not looking bad. And that's getting set up to get moving. So PATH. And let's look and see what else everybody wants to see. And then we'll call it a night. Because I'm not even gonna lie, I'm still exhausted. I bet I'll be exhausted like all week. I think I did a lot of snow, and it was a lot of snow out there. And then I just did a lot of, like I said, I broke the snow blower. That's how much I did. But anyway, we'll have to get that bad boy fixed for the next storm, so I can put it in animal mode again. And yeah, and honestly, I just did my neighborhood, like went around the block, like basically halfway around the block. I have a pretty big block, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, just take care of a bunch of the old people and stuff like that. And if anyone's out there shoveling, of course I go and help them because it was pretty deep. So yeah, tore that bad boy apart. And so yeah, I gotta fix that. And yeah, kind of tired still. I'm definitely sore. My arms, everything. I probably look like I'm going to fall asleep, but let's cruise through and see what else is going on. And I know Laptop Travel was saying something about gold, and we were talking about it earlier in the rejection. And what were you saying in October? Gold dropped from high to low 403.30 to 361.36, and that's a $41 decline, 10% correction. So be cautious here. And I have to agree with Laptop Travel. It is way up there. It's had a massive run right there, and then it's got some resistance, and it looks like it wants to curl back down. And silver as well. So yeah, I'd be careful with them going up. And they've had massive runs, and I'm not going to say they're not going to run up some more, but you could have some pullback right here. They've done it before, and they can do it again. So there you go. And we were talking about your three U's, and BNAI. Holy cow, Cadence. You see that bad boy? We were talking about it last night. It did run, huh? And then it pulled back pretty big in the after hours. So hope everybody were locking in profits on BNAI today, as I need to yawn. I'm just pretty tired here. And let's see. We were talking about this Mike Adams dude, or whatever the heck his name, Mike Alfred. I can't even remember his name. Mike Alfred and that other dude. And Master Keys, I know you had written something over here. Let me find you. SMR and BBAI, the big bear right there. Let's see what nuclear is doing. SMR pulling back. I think NKLR. Well, let me type this bad boy in. Nuclear right here pulling back. Oklo is pulling back as well. I'd have to look at these tomorrow. They're hitting some key levels like 50s and 20s and all that good stuff, and even support lines. But SMR, good pullback today. I could see it trying to pull back a little bit more. At the same time, it almost looks like a little healthy pullback. So if you want, I'll look at it in the morning. SMR, not a problem. I can definitely see if it wants to roll off there, but I could see them pulling back there. Master Keys. And let's check out the big bear right here, BBAI, down a little bit, sitting on that trend line. I could see this one trying to bounce off of there. Another one I'd probably want to look at in the morning, but I could see it trying to get rolling and trying to bounce. It could fall back down over here too. Don't get me wrong, to 513, but you could get a little bounce right there. So two of them I'd look at in the morning, to be honest. And SMR, BBAI, I just jotted them down right there. We can check them out in the morning there, Master Keys. But I hope that helped you out a little bit right there. We were talking about Rocket Mortgage, and we did now that bad boy. And let's see, Doge Mama 9. Let's see what else is going on here. And we were talking about Dave and Buster's and Play. That's Dave and Buster's, and that was pulling back a little bit. What about TIGR, your tiger right here? And as a matter of fact, speaking about the tiger, I believe I am going to talk to Joe Exotic on Wednesday evening, I believe, after the show. So we'll do the show, and then I'll talk to him and record it and everything, and then put it up. I have a few questions for Mr. Joe Exotic, our Tiger King. Speaking of the tiger, TIGR. And just want to get an update and see how he is, and see if we can't get him a pardon soon, because everyone else has been getting a pardon, and this guy been in there for like 8 years, and he definitely should get a pardon. So anyway, here's your Tiger, TIGR, Tiger King update coming up real soon as well. So keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, that's not looking too bad. Could get curled up right there. I'll look at that tomorrow too. I'm going to jot that down with our SMR and BBAI and TIGR right there. The good old Tiger. So we'll look at that in the morning there. Michael Anthony, FSK Cadence. Let's see. What is that? FSK is FSKKR Capital right there. Interesting spot. Pulling back and has that good support right there, to be honest with you. Let me see over here. FSK. That is an interesting one right there. I think you might have a bounce play coming up right here. Who said this? Cadence? FSK, I got to add to that little list too. That list is getting bigger. A lot of them you can't really tell tonight. I don't know why. What's going on? That means something's up. Oh, well, I know why. Because the Fed, which I don't even know why it's a question. The Fed rate is Wednesday, and that's not Joe. It's 99%, guys. I mean, there's no change. We knew this. We knew this like a month or two ago. I didn't think there'd be a change. I said if we see a change, it's happening in March right here. And these ones aren't. You have your no change way up here, but you still have plenty of time. No report or no decision, I mean, in February. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But yeah, no change there on Wednesday. That's for sure. We know that's not happening unless something really crazy goes down with Powell. But it's more or less what he says after the fact is what's important. So maybe that's why everything has that kind of weird look right there. I kind of forgot about the Powell thing happening there. And let's see what else is going on here, Michael Anthony. Here you go. We getting mostly dead cat bounce now that traders don't see it. See, there you are. I have no idea. What is he even talking about? Luis Rodriguez, what is he talking about? I'm not even sure. We were talking about you, and all the stuff they make. And Mimi right there, MIMI is a penny stock, and then MTC is that Noro one, and you can keep an eye on that. Noro One Medical Technologies is what it is, and you can keep an eye on that. IO&Q Acquire and Sky T right there. The Nasdaq closed at 111. And when $100.11 when we were up to 270 to the ground. I don't even know what you're saying right there. Something about the Nasdaq. Let me just look at it and try to figure out what you're talking about, Michael Anthony, because I have no idea. I'm not sure what he's saying. I'm not saying you're not clear. I'm just exhausted. I don't even know what you're saying. So anyway, if anyone can make sense of that, there you go with Michael Anthony's analyst of the Nasdaq right there, because I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, let's see what this one should say. Here, should stay away from pennies. Should stay away penny stocks that we gone back into a bear market is why we selling off. Companies better make profits with markets selling off after 2 each day. They do sell off after 2. I've realized that too. I talked about it on here. We were talking about that UEC. You said wait for it to dip. Rocket Lab could dip. And let me see. I only go long on anything I buy at the right price. So Michael Anthony's not putting puts on anything. He's just going long. And let me see, all of these, what does that say? All of these never make a profit. That UEC bought a company the past summer that used stock to buy it. And there you go. That's Michael Anthony's analyst. I don't know what he's talking about. I am definitely exhausted. And Michael Anthony, I have no idea what you're saying. CNET can be bought at $1.16. We were talking about that. Here we go, Luis Rodriguez. Let's look at that. CoreWeave's ETF or whatever this is. What is it? CWVX, right? And that is that CoreWeave one. Look at that thing curled up. CoreWeave was looking good today. I forget what the heck the stock symbol is. There you go. CRWV. It's not looking bad. Look at that thing curling up, guys. I think that is getting set up right there. CRWV. Let's keep an eye on that thing right there. And let's see. Adobe was something else was looking good today too. Hold on, I'll tell you. It was I can't think of the name of it. I'll think. I'll go to the heat map and see it. But Adobe definitely looking good too. I'll definitely give you that. Oracle, that's what it's called. I could not think of Oracle, but Oracle is looking pretty good today. ORCL, that was up, not looking bad right there. That could get set up as well, so keep an eye on that. And again, you could be seeing this money rotate, guys, and we see that all the time. So there you go. And why did it fall? Which one Michael Anthony, he just writes, "Why did it fall at 8:47?" I don't even know what he's talking about, but something fell. Did something fall at your house and you were asking us? I have no idea, Michael Anthony. Which one are you talking about? If I told you, write the stock ticker next to it so I know which one you're referring to, and then I can answer your question. So anyway, let me know what you mean. Boyle right here. Let's see. Right, I don't know why I keep touching the microphone. It's making my chin itch. I gotta stay away from it. And anyway, but Boyle right here was way up in natural gas right there. Was obviously running up after the storm. UNG up a little bit too. So there you go with them guys. And let's see, what is this? Tempest AI. That could still be in play. Yeah, that could be TEM right there. The AI ones ripping up there in your Marvell. What did they do? Didn't they do something, or it was running today? It's doing something. I forget. We looked at it. Didn't you mention it today or something, Luis Rodriguez? That does look really good right there. That could be a good play for tomorrow, guys. That MRVL. Keep an eye on that. What about your data dog right here and see what good old data dog's doing? Oh, that's running. Oh, that looks really good right there. DDOG, guys, keep an eye on that tomorrow. That's looking healthy. That dog wants to run right there. That's my boy Data Dog. REMX was down, but not too bad relative to some of the other Earth Mirror. And maybe that's all topped out as well, Luis Rodriguez. And you're right, it is down. Had that spike up this morning, and maybe they are going to pull back. We'll be seeing. And has AI bottomed out, or what is that? Yeah, AI right there. Let's see. That's at C3. Oh, that looks real good too to set up. So I do think a lot of these we're seeing a rotation. Some of these ones that had gotten beat down before are now starting to run. And obviously some of the critical metals and things of that nature are just running up, could be pulling back here. We've seen it before. It's not the first time this has happened. And AEI right here, let's see. Whatever it is. AI set, I think it is. That an I or an L? I think it's an I, unless it's Al set, AI set. I don't know what it is. I still can't tell. What is that even? What's the name of this company? Let's see. Al set. That looks like an L to me. Oh, that is an L. I don't really care about agreeing, but it's an L. Let's put it that way. I couldn't tell what it was. Alset it is. So there you go. But Alset not looking bad there. AEI, now I know. And path, like I said, that's on a better path. It does. We'll wait to see if it wants to roll off that MACD to come down. You do have some good support there. It could bounce off of it, obviously. XTKG. I think I looked at that one earlier. Isn't that Hong Kong one? Yeah, I looked at this one earlier. This was up pretty big right there. And PHGE. Look at this one right here. We were just talking about this not long ago. And that just got ripping. Was that not on your list there, Laptop Travel, PHGE? I swear it was the other day. And there you go. So that's 100% in the after. Wow, look at that bad boy, Laptop Travel. Right? You just had that thing on your list. I know you did. NUSBC right here running up big in the after hours as well. And do you think Bull continues to go lower? Let's see right here. It's been a disaster. I'm not going to lie, Zach. It's definitely been disappointing and terrible. Hasn't been bullish. Let's put it that way. I kind of think like you're bottomed out right around here. I mean, it's almost like a triple bottom and probably even more, but I think it's kind of bottoming out, to be honest with you. We'll see tomorrow and this week. I think we'll have a better idea. What was this? Rosenblatt Securities initiates bull with a buy rating at $15 target price ahead of the company's Q4 earnings. I'm not sure when the earnings are. I was trying to figure that out today. Someone figure out when their earnings are, and we'll see. I think that's when you get your run up. We were talking about today, and I think we were talking about this today. But yeah, I think it has to get some kind of catalyst or something to go. It's the chart's just like kind of hanging out here. It's not moving for some reason. So it needs something to happen. And so whether it could go lower, it could, but I think it is basing out right there. Zach, and let's look at that DZZ is that gold short one. And look at this, guys. if you don't think that gold might come down, check this guy out right there. DZZ. That looks really good to set up and get cruising. That's a double short ETN. It's not a 2-time. I don't really understand it, but it does look great right there. I have to give you that. So usually when gold goes down, that one's supposed to go up, right, Luis Rodriguez? So there you go. And he put the tiger on there right there, like I said. So yeah, I'll be talking to Joe Exotic. We're gonna get an update with him. And let me see what else is going on. The company completed the acquisition of Uranium One America assets on December 20th. And the acquisition of Rio Tinto's Wyoming assets. What company is that? What is? I don't even know. Was that UEC you're talking about? I'm gonna bet that's UEC he's talking about. So I'm guessing they acquired these two companies right there. The news above on UEC. Look at that. All I had to do is look down and see. Thank you, Michael Anthony. That makes it a little more clear. And yes, you did. You own calls on Marvell. Yeah, I thought you said this morning. This is looking really good right here. MRVL. I might have to join you on that one, Luis Rodriguez. That is looking really healthy to get moving. So let's keep an eye on that MRVL right there, DZZ. And Luis Rodriguez has all kinds of animals up there. Look at that. That's the whole petting zoo right there. Marvell could fall to 77. Michael Anthony just loves to poop on your parade right there, Mike Luis Rodriguez. Look at him. He's just like, whatever. It could fall down to 77, guys. I don't know. That's pretty good support right there. I could see it getting cruising back up to at 87, as a matter of fact, Michael Anthony. So that's what it looks like to me anyway. And we'll be watching. I'll look at it tomorrow. I think it could be going higher. AI going lower, you said, and AEI is a L and not it's an what? We weren't talking about that one, Michael Anthony. Oh yeah, we were. Well, no, the stock ticker's an I, but the name of the company's Alset. That was what I was trying to figure out. So, yeah, very confusing there. Yeah, it's AEI. I do know that. I figured I know that one, but I couldn't figure out if this second letter next to the A was an I or an L. It looks like it could have like a little dot there. I was like, I just can't tell. And like, doesn't it look like the same letters? The I guess that's a capital I. I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was an L or an I right there, Michael Anthony. Not this one, but this letter right there, and it's an L. And I still can't even tell. But now that I know, it's Al set, so now I do know. But anyway, it is an L, and that's what we were referring to, Michael Anthony. But thank you for the heads up there. And it is an L. And how is it an L? And you put AIL, and it doesn't. AI. No, I always know this one, AEI. I do know this AEL. Yeah, that's not coming up. No, Michael Anthony. I was talking about the name of the company there, so that's what I'm talking. That's what I was. That's why I clicked on to see what it said. I don't even know what they do, but again, I don't know what the hell copyright, all that crap. But it looks like you have to agree to it all, the whole world right there, I think. But it is Alset is what the name of the company is, and Bull needs a profit. You said Bull needs to get some promotion stuff going or somebody to talk about it. They need some hype, and then maybe they'll get a profit. I mean, they have. It's bizarre to me, guys. They have like the best platform for trading, but yet they don't know how to utilize it the right way, and not in the sense that it's not set up the best way to do promotions and marketing. So I don't know why they're not doing it better. Like Robinhood, they go crazy and do a lot. Maybe Robinhood's more profitable, but I think they're more profitable because they're more on social media and they're more out there. So I think they kind of go hand in hand, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's my take on it right there. And let's see what else is going on here. Michael Anthony, the I and A. Yeah, there you go. And Luis Rodriguez. It was talking about it could fall to 75 and then 70. However, there's massive institution support at both levels, so it should try to bounce there. And that is what your Marvell. Is that what we're still talking about here? I'm not even sure. I think that's what we're talking about. Let's see what the options look like. Luis Rodriguez going in. That's expiring this weekend or this Friday. I mean, this is next week's right there. Nothing real crazy with Marvell. Nothing jumping out at me anyway with the options. So interesting, but there you go. There's a little pickup on 220 right there. And so anyway, there you go. But it is looking pretty good. It's like trying to crawl up right there, and it could get running up. It gets over that, it'll really get cruising. That's for sure. But that is MRVL right there, and that's what the market looks like, everybody. And I'd say we pretty much got to everything. We did our news at the beginning, right? Asian stocks near record, and the yen steadies after gains, and the border patrol chief, oh yeah, Bavino, because I was gonna say it sounded like I was making up a fake name for Cavino right there. I think our good old buddy Chief Bavino right here is facing some craziness. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, and so yeah, they're taking, I think, ice off of the streets there, and things got a yeah. I think it's a little bit. I think it's become a little bit too crazy, to be completely honest with you. So I guess they got to scale it back a little bit there. And see, what do you have on Marvell? January 27th calls right there. And anyway, just jumping around. But yeah, I think they need to scale it back a little bit over there. That city's really crazy right now. I don't think I'd want to be over there. That's for sure. And you're talking 100-hour calls right here. There's some good interest. There's a lot of interest on these guys for this week. So it's interesting right there. You said the 27th. January 27. You mean 30th right there, maybe? Perhaps 100-hour calls, something like that. Or are you talking about 227? Yeah, you put January is probably this one. So this one right here, these are all Louis Rodriguez. He has 228 calls right there, everybody. So now you know. And anyway, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there you go with Marvell and that Minnesota, yeah, all that craziness over there. So yeah, hopefully all that calms down. It's kind of a little bit too wild right now with all the protesting, and it's just wild. It's just a wild scene. And again, we talked about it before. I mean, I wouldn't be engaging in anybody like that. So you wouldn't catch me. And if they told me to put my hands up or shut up or do whatever, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna listen. Because guess what? I tell you, I used to work with cops all the time and walk through this one of the most dangerous cities. People don't understand when it's dangerous, guys. They act a little differently because they have to protect themselves and they want to go home at the end of the day. People don't understand that. Like, it's either you or them. They want to go home. And they're like, well, I'll just have to go to court and we'll figure this all out. And chances are the town's paying my attorney fees and everything else. And you're not even making it to the courtroom because you're going to be 6 feet under the ground. So, with that said, yeah, that's how they respond and act. I know that. I've watched them do it. Like, personally, first, not to me, but firsthand working with them. And yeah, when you're in dangerous situations, again, like, they don't have they're not watching this on tape like in slow motion 500 times. It's playing out in real time going. It may be slowed down because it's a crazy incident going on. Sometimes your brain slows it down, but still you have seconds to react right there, and that's it. And guys, I mean, you don't wrestle with these guys. You don't try to sit there and drive at them. You don't do things like that are stupid. You just shut your mouth and you obey what they tell you. I don't care if they're ICE or anybody else. They're federal people doing a job right there. You don't get in their way. Just leave them alone and you'll get to go home at the end of the day. But if you want to risk not leaving them alone, you may not go home at the end of the day. That's the way it works, everybody. And again, I'm not picking sides. I could care less what side you feel is right. I'm just telling you what's right and what happens. I mean, I've watched this firsthand. And again, you gotta put yourself in these guys' situation. You got these people that are acting like maniacs. They're there to do a job. They were sent there to do a job, whether you agree with it or not. That's not your job to do. If you want to protest, go ahead and protest. Do whatever, but don't be getting close to them. Don't be blowing whistles in their face. Don't be blocking traffic. Don't be messing with them. If you mess with them, they may kill you. And everybody should know that. I don't understand how people don't know that. And like I said, I used to walk around in Camden with cops, and if people messed around, they would kill them, guys. They don't play games. It's a dangerous situation. And at the end of the day, you're like, well, we'll just go back and write the report, but we're going back to the police station. They're not going home. And that's the way it works, guys. And you got to look at it that way. And every time I was out on the streets, it was their job to protect me. And I'm glad they thought that way because, again, I wasn't even carrying guns or anything. I'm just walking around doing inspections, being a fire inspector, trying to do people's houses. And it's a dangerous area. You could get robbed, shot, or killed at any moment. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, you got to be protected and you got to have that outlook like, hey, it's either me or you. So if you're going to be acting like a maniac and I'm the guy that's, I have a gun. You may be able to carry legally, but I have a gun in my pocket. I can shoot you at any moment. Just shut your mouth and listen to what I have to say and you'll go home. And people don't do that anymore. I just don't get it. I really don't understand. And again, protest all you want, but don't get in their way or do anything stupid because you might not make it home. And people get upset about that, but I mean, don't mess with them. So that's my take on it, everybody. And again, I don't really care which side you care about or feel is right or wrong. I think it's kind of crazy that people are dying. Trust me. And I think that the tensions has become so crazy. I think it is a good idea maybe to draw back and scale it back because it's just gotten completely out of control. And the only way it's not going to get out of control anymore and more people aren't going to get shot and killed is if they have to take them out of the city because the people are nuts. I mean, you can't mess with people and they're going to end up killing people like every day. You're going to see somebody getting shot. And again, this guy, and I watched the video and everybody can debate about it. But again, this guy's like wrestling around with these guys. Don't wrestle. Don't yell at them. If they tell you to do something or they're trying to place you under arrest, just put your hands behind your back and get in the car, go down, get processed, and get the hell out of there, and you'll get to go home. If not, you're risking your life. I don't think it's really worth to risk your life. And that's how I look at it. I know I've been messed with the cops before, and I've known I was in the right and they were in the wrong. And guess what? Every single time you say yes, sir, no, sir, whatever you got to say, and you just agree with them, you get whatever ticket or citation or whatever shit they're going to do. They get it. And then guess what? You go deal with that. You arguing with him is not going to change anything. You're actually going to piss him off and probably end up with more stuff. And again, this is how they operate. And they're the guys in control, unfortunately. So we have rules and laws, and they let people control the rules and the laws and pick what, is right and wrong sometimes. Maybe they don't make the best choices. But again, at the end of the day, everybody understands that you can lose your life if you mess with them. So that's my take on it. I won't go into it anymore. And yeah, it's terrible. It's a tragedy. It's terrible that people are literally losing their life. Just like that, the first chick, what was her name? Renee Good, I think. Like, it's terrible. She lost her life because she decided to go down in her car and block a bunch of ICE agents. I mean, that's insane, guys. That's really crazy shit right there. And yeah, you could lose your life. And she chose to lose her life. Not that she thought she was going to, but the minute that car backs up and starts driving forward, there's a really good possibility you ain't making it out of there alive. And it happened. And again, that's when they were saying for her to get out, stop the car, and she didn't listen. And that's how it's going to end. Almost 10 out of 10 times. And again, they'll fill out the reports. They'll go back to the police station and they'll all go home that night and get protected somehow. Because I think they had to move that guy. And I guess now this new guy, I didn't even know who this guy. Again, it's all so crazy. And again, it's just out of control wildness. But they are, I think, taking them, the ICE agents, out of Minnesota now so that the city can calm down. It's just completely wild right now. So not a good look ever, and not something that you want to see. You don't want to see people getting killed out there because they're trying to protest, but at the same time, they're not protesting in the right ways either. So it's just got to a rough. It's rough. And so I guess you got to just let the community go back home and calm down and let the water settle, and then just do whatever you're going to do, I guess, later on. I have no idea what their plan's going to be. But just to touch on that topic again, yeah, I don't think it's right. Don't get me wrong, but I also don't think it's smart to go and mess with them either. So you're not going to hear me say one way or the other, yeah, you shouldn't protest, because I do 100%. If that's the side that you agree with and you're feel strong about it, strong enough to go out and protest, feel free, go out and protest. But I definitely wouldn't be getting in their way. I wouldn't even talk to them. I wouldn't mess with them, and I'd make sure I was way far enough from them that I couldn't get shot and killed. And that's how I look at it. So anyway, that's that. And let's see. And they're paid actors for the most part. And well, that's what goes on, Luis Rodriguez. A lot of these people, it's like, I mean, we saw it happen 100%. When they were protesting at the college institutions and like these big schools, these Ivy League schools, none of these protesters were going to them schools. They weren't students there. They literally, I mean, they showed up with all the same. And again, guys, just think about it. If you ever went to a protest or something like that, or anything like a, would you show up and all have all the same tents, all the same signs, food tents and stuff like that set up for you? I mean, these things were organized with organized busloads of people coming to them. So it wasn't like you had students out there protesting what was going on. And then, of course, you get that rhetoric going, and then just make this commotion. And it does, you know, especially with social media. It makes people go crazy, and you start seeing it happen all the time. But yeah, you have a lot. I mean, they've pointed out some of these protesters have been at every single protest throughout the country. I mean, it's like, who can travel like that, guys, to a stupid protest unless you're getting paid to do it, and someone's, you know, literally taking care of everything for you. You got to be in hotels, buses, planes, transportation. I mean, are you that wealthy and that you're just like, yeah, I'm going out and this is what I'm spending all my money on, is just going from city to city to go protest every day. I just don't see any normal human being doing that. I'm sorry, but I just don't. But yeah, I guess if you're down and out and they're paying you, you probably will do it. So it is, yeah, it's way too coordinated. I agree. I mean, it's so coordinated that you know that there's money behind it, and that's how you can tell. Like the Soros and all them people, you absolutely know 100% that it's coordinated, because again, you can't get 10 people to show up with the same freaking tents and stuff. You can't even get 10 people to go buy a tent. If you told them to all show up with a tent, you know almost every person wouldn't show up with a tent. And these people all have the same exact tent, like they just robbed the Dick's Sporting Good, like the whole, like they just robbed like the tractor trailer full of it, because they have like 70 to 100 tents over there that are all the exact same. I mean, that's a little bizarre. If somebody don't think that's organized, I don't know what's going to make it. And then they got a food table for these people. I mean, that's pretty wild too. So yeah, you're not talking about old school protesters. And again, you're not talking about the students that even went to these schools. They were like, what the hell's going on? And at the time, my nephew went to Cornell, and they were protesting there, and he said it was pretty wild. He's since graduated, and yeah, he's gonna be like a surgeon. It's pretty great. But yeah, he was at Cornell when they had all that craziness going on. He said it was really, really wild. He said it was like uneasy to walk around. It was kind of scary. And that's what happens. So he's like, these normal students were like afraid to go out and stuff. And he was telling me about it. I saw him during the holidays. He was telling us, and yeah, it's just crazy, guys. So you don't, it's just wild with protesters. But anyway, let's go through and see what else is on the show and what we're going to finish with. And we'll end with that. But yeah, that's what goes on in this crazy country, I guess. GEHC. What does Cadence want to, oh, look at that bad boy. GE Healthcare. That's actually not looking too bad there. I'd just be concerned with the 20 coming down. Earnings coming up on the 4th right there. Let me take a better look at this bad boy, GEHC. Let's see. Let me add that to tomorrow's list too. How's that, Cadence? It does look pretty good right there. It just has like that weird look, like it could get knocked down. So Let me add it right here. GEHC. So we have SMR, the Big Bear. We have the Big Bear and the Tiger on here right here. TIGRFSK and GEHC right there for you there, Cadence. So we'll definitely check them bad boys out in the morning. And let's see anything else we're going to look at tonight. Or should we just wrap it up? NVIDIA down, Tesla was down, Amazon. And like I said, Google looking good. Apple is looking really good. Microsoft. We looked at our news. We looked at our crypto. And we looked at everything else. And I think we got through all the messages right there. Yeah, I think so. Laptop Travel and Janica and Cadence and Zach Master Keys is hanging out there. Doge Mama 9. And of course, Michael Anthony's always hanging out. And let me see who else was on there. Zach, I mentioned, and I'm sure Sam's probably hanging around somewheres, and Robin and everybody else that's hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. So you guys enjoy your evening. You know, we'll be doing the show at 7 a.m. We'll see what's going on with the market. What wants to be popping there? Like I said, your SPY and Qs look pretty good. I must say, they just have they look like they want to pop up right there. That's what the SPY and Qs look like. And again, your mega caps and big ones are looking pretty good right there. Let's look at the futures right there. And your Nasdaq is up right now, so 0.4%. You can see that. And they're not looking too bad. Your Dow Jones is just kind of down a little bit. Nothing too crazy there. S&P up a little. So market not looking bad, that's for sure. And we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. So yeah, we'll do 7 o'clock a.m. pre-market show. As always, I'll be up early to check out the market and be on point there. So we do this show every night, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. And then we do our morning show, 7 a.m. Monday through Fridays. So there you go, everybody. Be sure to follow along on YouTube, X, Instagram, all that good stuff, and like the show on your way out of here. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Thank you again for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the morning. Enjoy your night and have a good night, everybody.